Hello everyone, welcome back to the new initiative of Insights Prelims 360. In the last session, we had discussed about overview of the program. In the present session, we will discuss about some of the basic facts about the prelims and try to analyze what is important. Usually, first we will understand how many will apply for the examination, how many will appear for the prelims examination, and then let's understand how many will qualify as such. Okay. Now, if you look at 2021, there were around 10 to 11 lakh students or candidate has been applied for the examination. Around 5 lakh candidates have appeared in the examination. Among the 5 lakh, the final students who have qualified prelims was around 9,200, which is approximately 2% of the total candidate who have appeared in the examination. So this is the kind of competition that you can expect. However, even within this 5 lakh, in a practical sense, there are around 1 lakh students will be more serious with their preparation. So what I can say is around 10%, it is a competition among the 1 lakh serious candidate rather than the 5 lakh who appear in the examination. So in that sense, getting with the 10%, if you are in the top 10%, you can in a position to qualify the preliminary examination. I don't think that is a really hard thing. Okay, then what are the number of total posts that were there in 2021? If you look at, there were only 712 posts. Okay, so around 12 to 14 times the post will qualify for the prelims. In that sense, around 9,200 were appeared. So if you look at the number of posts here, and let's see what is the number of posts in 2022. It is whopping 1,011 posts. You have seen that the 150 posts in the railways have been added and it has been taken to 1,011 posts. That is around 300 posts more than last year. So if it is 3,000, around 14,000 to 15,000 will qualify for mains, around 3,500 or 4,000 more compared to the last year. So that is a great opportunity to clear the prelims. That is why we are emphasizing, whenever there is more number of posts, what happens is the serious candidate remains the same. Right? It cannot be just because the number of posts has been increased, the number of serious candidates will not increase. It remains the same. Now, the opportunity to get qualified, that will increase. Okay, so in that sense, 2022 is a great opportunity to clear the prelims. So now we try to understand what was the cutoff in the last year. 2021 the result has not come, so you cannot expect the cutoff of 2021 at this point of time, but what we are certain is about the cutoff of 2020 and before that. So before understanding the cutoff, what you are supposed to understand is basically there is a myth in the market saying that what usually happens is whenever the number of posts are more or it is increases, usually what happens is people around you start telling that since the post has been increased, the competition will be little bit less compared to the last year, so the cutoff will go down. Okay, so to understand this, you have to see the previous year cutoffs and also the number of posts that they had, whether the cutoff increased or decreased, as there is the trend that will be talked in the market. So what happened is many serious candidates take it lightly when they feel that there are number of posts are more, the cutoff can go down. So those candidates who have cleared last time may feel that I had cleared last time when there are number of posts were less. No, since the number of posts are more in this year, it is very good opportunity, or they take it lightly because they think that cutoff will go further down. Okay, let's see what was there in the previous year. If you look at 2016, last 5 years the total number of posts were 1,079, and if you look at the prelims cutoff, there was 116. So suddenly in 2017 around 100 posts have been decreased. Okay, by looking at this, candidates started feeling little bit, worried, because the people started saying that since the cutoff was 116, now the posts have been increased, the cutoff will further go up as the competition is more in 2017. So how it affected them is they started attending more number of questions without seeing the difficulty of the paper. What you have to understand here is, you don't need to worry about the individual score. What is the cutoff? 98, 105, 116. This doesn't really matter. What matters is how many will qualify. Are you there in that 10% or 12 times the number of posts? Whether if you are there in that position, that is comfortably fine. So don't worry about how much score physically have to do. It depends upon the difficulty of the paper. If let's say paper is very easy, then two things can happen. One is, you will be knowing more number of right answer. Also, the second thing is the mistakes you do or the negatives you carry will be less. In both the sense, your cutoff will go high. So, in that sense, don't worry about, what is the number of posts and the last year cutoff. They are entirely two different things. If you are among top 10% of the serious candidate, you will qualify. That is the whole idea here. So, if you look at here, though the number of posts has decreased, cutoff actually mathematically should increase, because the people say that the more competition, cutoff has to go up, but cutoff has drastically go down by 10%. And if you look at here, in 2016, around 15,500 or around 16,000 wrote mains. Here, around 3,000 or 2,500 less from compared to 2016. But still, even though number of students who are writing mains decreased, still cutoff has decreased. But in a general case, in a regular case, it should have been increased because the competition is more now. But that is not the case here, that you are supposed to understand. So, whenever this year, let's say if there is 1,011 posts, don't just think that the cutoff will be less than 2021 or 2020. There is no correlation as such. Only the correlation is more number of students will write the mains. That is the only correlation we have, but we do not have the correlation between the cutoffs. Again, if you see here, from 980 to again around 200 posts have been decreased. So people thought that this year the cutoff will increase because the 200 post has been decreased, but again around 7 marks cutoff has dropped. So this is the thing that you have to understand. So there is no correlation between number of posts and cutoff. Just because number of posts has increased, you don't think that cutoff can go down. Or if let's say number of posts has decreased, doesn't mean that cutoff will also go up. It is not the one-to-one scenario. So because of that, many students in 2017, I still remember, they have started attending more number of questions just to make sure that the 2016 cutoff was 116. So cutoff will be more than 116 because number of posts are less. So what they did literally is they started attending, taking too many chances. Since the paper was little bit tricky at that point of time, automatically they ended up making lot of mistakes. So what we are supposed to understand is there is no correlation between number of posts as well as the cutoff. It only what is the correlation is, if the posts are more, people who write mains will be more. If the posts are less, people who write mains will be less. That is the only correlation we have. Okay, this is till 2019. And what happens usually in the market is those who are having reservation like OBC, SC, ST, PWD. So automatically they have a feeling that since I have a reservation, the cutoff marks will be I have a better chance. But if you look at the cutoff difference between OBC and general, it was around 5.33 marks in 2016, and if you look at here, it is just 3 marks. Okay, that is basically one question. Here it is 1.33 marks. Okay, that is not even one question. Okay, again if you have here, look at here, it is 2.66 marks. Basically you have the edge of only one question. Okay, not more than that. So don't be don't live in a world where you feel that I have a reservation and I can easily clear the prelims. It may be very helpful when compared to mains as well as in final list, but in terms of prelims there is cutthroat competition, what that you are supposed to understand. So don't carry away that you have a reservation. So even if you look at here, it is not too much, basically maybe around 16 marks, but when comes to the number of questions, it may be around 5 to 6 questions. Okay, so what I suggest is in this thing, if you have just because of a OBC reservation, don't go away with that. I can easily qualify because I have the reservation. Don't be complacent, be as serious as everyone. Now if you look at 2020, last year, cutoff was for general, again it still decreased. The number of posts in 2020 was basically 796. Okay, so if you look at here, cutoff was 92. But again it is 92.5 because last time what happened was 3 questions were removed while calculating because there was ambiguity in the answer. So that UPSC has removed those papers, but still I don't know why there is a marks of 0.5. if you look at the previous cutoff, either it will be 0.66 or 0.34, 0.34, 0.66, 0.34, 0.66. So mathematically, either it can be a whole number or it can be a 0.34 or 0.66. Only those three are possibilities, but we are not sure what UPSC has done in the last year, where cutoff has come to 92.5, 77.5512. So I don't know, but it is somewhere that has not been mentioned by UPSC, but it is not the regular calculation that has been done here. Okay. So if you again look at the cutoff here, again there is 92.5, and for OBC it is basically 3 marks difference. Okay. So what I am saying is, it is a matter of just one question. So don't be complacent. If you just have the reservation also, be as serious as everyone. Okay. That is the whole idea of showing this. Otherwise, numbers are anyways available in the internet, like that UPSC releases their cutoff. What you have to analyze is, how much difference is there, if there is there a correlation between cutoff and number of posts. Those things that you have to understand, that there is no cutoff, correlation between cutoff and the number of posts, but there is a correlation between number of candidates who appear in mains as well as number of. Now we try to understand, the subject wise last year what were the various subjects that has been occupied. So if you look at polity and IR, you can have around 20 questions from this section. So that is 1/5. Again, science and tech 12 question, environment 17 question. Art and culture and history, if you look at, there was 20 question, that is 15 from history part and 5 from culture part, art and culture part. 14 question from economy, 3 question from 13 question from geography, and from miscellaneous 4. What is this miscellaneous? Sports, award, that kind of questions. Okay. So there were 3 questions on sports. So again, why I am showing this is, basically if you look at previous year, that is 2020, again there was 20 from polity, 18 from polity and 15 from polity. Okay. Science and tech, if you look at 12 and 12. So science and tech is, from last 3 years the number of questions are 12, but if you look at the environment number of questions, that was 17 in 2021, but if you look at 20, it was 23, and in 19 it was 25. So basically there is, again if you look at geography, it was less, only 7 in 2020, only 4 in 2019, but in 21 it has been increased to 13. So what happens usually is, when you are just referring last year's weightage, what happens is, those who have been in 20 or 21, they would have neglected the geography parts, thinking that there is only 4 questions, and they would have given a more emphasis on environment and agriculture, but however, if you look at the trend this year, environment and agriculture both together has little bit decreased compared to last 2 years, where there were 23 and 25 questions. But geography, instead of 4 and 7, this year it has been increased to 13. So there is no rule that, one subject will dominate. But however, if you look at polity as well as economy, there will be around 14 to 15 questions. So you can prioritize, but don't neglect any subject just because they were not asking in the previous year. Any year UPSC may feel that, they can, need to increase, there is a need to increase the number of questions from that subject, and that will be done. And the second part is, here miscellaneous, what I want to say is, there are 4 questions. Let's say there is this question on sports, then question on, awards. Then don't try to run behind these 4 questions. Okay. These 4 questions you cannot have the control over. Okay. That you have to understand, because next year instead of awards or sports, they can ask something else. They would have asked about some personality. So just because they have asked 4 questions here, don't run behind them. In your regular current affairs, whatever you are studying about them, that will be enough. Don't try to cover, all the awards that I will cover this year, so that, any award question can be asked, because next year there may not be any questions on awards or sports. Okay. It can vary, because last year there was a kind of, Olympic that was happening. So that might have been a motivation for UPSC to ask little bit about the sports as well. But it doesn't mean that they will be keep asking every year. Okay. So, and also India, first time played the ICC World Cup, Test World Cup basically, or, Test World Championship. So that might be a little bit of motivation. That doesn't mean that tomorrow I am studying about kabaddi also, cricket also, tennis also, everything. So don't waste too much of time. Whatever that you are referring in your current affairs, that would be enough. But don't run behind those 4-5 topics which are miscellaneous. They will always be a miscellaneous. Okay. Next year, the 4 question miscellaneous will be from the different sector altogether. So there is no end to it if you keep running behind it, right? So just limit your preparation and in those miscellaneous sector. In other sectors where there are always yielding a very large number of questions, make sure that you prepare them well, but at the same time don't neglect any topic just because they were not asked before. Okay, this is the whole agenda. So this is about the basic fact about prelims. So again, if I want to just sum it up, I just want to say 2 points. One is this year the post is 1011. So students who write mains will be around 14,000. Okay, compared to 2021 May, they have written only 9,200. So it is around 4,500 people will, more people will write the mains. So it is a great opportunity. Those who have missed even in the margin last year, they can still they can clear and write the examination this year. So in that sense, it is a great opportunity. However, what we are supposed to understand is cutoff is nowhere related to number of posts. Okay, there is no correlation. Only correlation is who clear prelims, number of students. Okay, number is directly correlated to number of posts. Okay, so more the post, more people will write the prelims. Okay, so better chance of qualifying. But however, the number, this 92, 98, 2104, 116, this cutoff number will solely depend upon the difficulty of the paper. It solely depends on the difficulty of the paper. So just don't be, just because the number of posts are there, just don't try to attend more number of questions. So that is one thing. Because people will start saying that, cutoff will go down, and don't be a complacent. It just entirely solely depends upon the difficulty of the paper. Then subjects, the weightage of the subject varies from year to year. The most important subject like, polity, science and tech, environment, economy, these subjects, you make sure that you cover them sufficiently, and at the same time, don't neglect any subject and don't run behind this miscellaneous. This is the second point takeaway from this class. Then third takeaway is basically the difference between cutoff marks for general candidate and reserved candidates. So it will be hardly a matter of 1 or 2 question. Okay, depending upon your category, it can go up to 3-4 questions, not more than that. Okay, so don't be complacent just because you have reservation. Okay, that is another part, because many a times you would not have seen the difference between the cutoff. So just see the cutoff difference between a general category and the reserved category to which you may belong, and you will try to understand that there is not much. It is, if you look at the number of question matter, even if it is 3 marks, then in terms of question, it is just 1 question. Okay, that is a 1 question that can make the difference. So you don't have too much of edge. Okay, that 1 question is not a great edge as such. So don't be complacent, be as serious as other candidates. Okay, and this year, since there are more number of posts, more people, more number of students are writing. So gear up and start your preparation. Okay, that is it for this session. Then we will discuss about the source, how to study the source basically in the market in the next session. Okay, so there are various sources and how to study the current affairs, how to minimize your preparation, minimize your sources and maximize your preparation. So that we can discuss in the next session. Okay, thank you.